Peter Curter, the Vampire of Düsseldorf. Peter Curter was a sadistic serial murderer. He came from a pathological family. Lots of his family members had mental illnesses. As a child he abused animals and burned houses for fun. He was loved in blood. Today he is in all books about psychiatry. First murder. Christine Klein, 13 years old. He started his criminal career as a burglar. Once during the burglary in Mannheim am Rhine, he entered the child room and killed a sleeping 13 years old girl, Christine Klein. Why, nobody knows, but at this moment he was delighted. After the murder, he massacres her body. For this murder, many years in prison spent another man. Our murderer lost his tissue with letters PK, like Peter Curter. Initial of a friend of the victim's family was PK2. After many years during interrogation, the vampire said about his first murder. It was on 25 May 1913. I had been stealing, specializing in public bars or inns where the owners lived on the floor above. In a room above and in Kryminalny, I discovered a child of about 10 asleep. Her head was facing the window. I seized it with my left hand and strangled her for about a minute and a half. The child woke up and strangled but lost consciousness. I had small but sharp pocket knife with me, and I held the child's head and cut her throat. I heard the blood spurt and drip on the mat beside the bed. Second murder, Rosa Oliger. Second victim was Rosa Oliger, only 8 years old. He killed her after 16 years for the first crime. She was coming back home from a friend. He attacked her, raped, killed, and many times tried to burn her body. He was coming back to her body for many days. This murder shocked Düsseldorf. There hasn't been such a serious crime for many years. Newspapers wrote many articles about the brutal murder in their city. Third murder, Rudolf Scheer. Third victim was mechanic Rudolf Scheer. He was 45 years old man. Curtin gave him 30 hits with a knife. After that, police started talking about vampire of Düsseldorf. Nobody knows why they murdered just this man. Probably it was a random victim. Rudolf Scheer was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He didn't know that in the near was a sadistic murderer with psychical problems. After this crime, the city was scared and shocked, because that means only one thing. Here is a serial murder and nobody knows who is vampire and how many people are he going to kill. Fourth murder, Maria Hahn. In August 1929, a very rich man reported the disappearance of his 30-year-old servant. It was Maria Hahn. Her body was found in November. The murderer gave her many stab wounds. He met her in the first part of August. Curtin invited her for a walk to the forest. At the interrogation, the vampire told that while resting, he started strangling Maria. When she passed out, he started to jump her body with the scissors. She was dying for 1 hour. After her death, he drank the blood from her wounds. He came back to her body after 1 day and buried her remains in the forest. He was not a very intelligent person, but he could destroy evidence. Murder 5 and 6, Gertrude Hammer and Louis Lanson. It happened on 24 August 1929. It was a beautiful hot summer day. Two little girls, 5 and 13 years old, was playing in the amusement park. He exclaimed older girl and asked her, could she buy him cigarettes? When she went to the shop, he kidnapped 5-year-old girl and came with her into the bushes. Her body has been found the next day with 34 stab wounds. The oldest college of this girl was killed after returning from the shop. The police found her body the next day without head. She was only 13 years old. After that, city was in panic. All papers was writing about vampire. Curtin was angry. He wrote many letters to journalists with threats and description of his crimes. He announced the next crimes. Unfortunately, he realized his plan. Murder number 7, Ida Reuter. On 3rd September 1929, workers found the body of 31-year-old woman. It was Ida Reuter. They called the police. The police told that the murder weapon was a hammer. It was the next brutal crime of vampire. The police had a problem with the identification of her body. All police in Düsseldorf tried to catch the murderer. Murder number 8. Elizabeth Dorier was 22-year-old woman. Her body was found by the workers. This crime was similar to the previous murder of Ida Reuter. Last murder, Gertrude Alberman. His last victim was 5-year-old girl, Gertrude Alberman. He proposed a random girl walk to the forest. Unfortunately, the girl agreed to his proposition. The vampire was very confident and proud of his crimes. Then he didn't know that it was his last crime. Arrest, trial, and death. One day at the police station came a woman with a letter. This woman received the letter by the mistake. The letter said about the assault on the young woman. The police found the author of the letter and asked her about the details of the assault. The woman said that she came to the Düsseldorf in the evening. She was looking for accommodation. Then, a random man offered her free accommodation. In his house, he offered dinner, but he was acting strange. After dinner, she decided to leave her flat. He led her off and attacked, but she escaped. The woman showed police officers his flat. There was Peter, but she didn't identify him. After that, he told his wife that he is a vampire. His wife said it at the police station, and after that, killer has been arrested. After a long trial, the sentence could be only one: death. On 2nd July 1931, he was executed by the guillotine.